Hello guys, this is Adit. Welcome to my channel Movement Science, where I simplify biomechanics with Joe. If you are new to this channel, consider subscribing because I simplify biomechanics here and also talk about lot of ortho topics and lot of clinical applications which you can use in your daily practice. Also check me out on Instagram where I post daily MCQs and also pictures of my notes. The reference time for all the topics that I am going to cover will be mentioned down in the description. So without any further ado, let's dive into the topic. In this video, we are going to talk about the subtalar joint function. We will see what is a triplanar movement, the axis of the subtalar joint, and we will also see how in supination and pronation of the foot during a non-weight bearing and a weight bearing condition, the talus and the calcaneum moves. So at the subtalar joint, there is supination and pronation that is occurring. Now this is a triplanar movement, that means it occurs in all the three planes. And the axis for this is obviously very oblique because this kind of movement cannot take place in an axis which cuts only one plane. So if you take the foot over here, the axis of the subtalar joint goes somewhat like this. That is, this is the medial border. From the transverse plane, it is slightly inclined, and if you see from the top part, it is slightly tilted medially. So the final axis is somewhat like this. So if you see, the movement occurs around this axis over here like this. So if you separate the calcaneum and the talus, this is your calcaneum and this is your talus, right? So the movement of the talus on the calcaneum will be somewhat like this, like a screw. If you see from the top, the talus will be moving in this direction. So if you look at the articulating surfaces, we saw that talus has a bigger concave surface and two convex surfaces, right? If you don't know about the concave convex rule, please check out my video on that so that it will be easier for you to understand this topic. And also concave convex rule in general is a very important topic and need to be cleared out, and in that video I have made it as simple as possible. So when a concave surface is moving on a convex surface, the glide and the roll of the bone will be in the same direction. So when the posterior part of the talus is going laterally, the glide and the roll will be in the same direction, whereas because of the other two facets are convex, their glide will be in the opposite direction. So hence the posterior part of the talus will go in this direction, whereas the anterior part will go in this direction. So the movement will be somewhat like this, that is a screw-like movement. Please don't confuse this with the screw home mechanism. That is a totally different concept which comes under knee, whereas this is just a screw-like motion. That is a screw home mechanism, that is locking and unlocking of the knee joint. So now that you know that the concave surface and convex surfaces have different movement and they have a screw-like mechanism, let us see what happens in non-weight bearing and weight bearing of the subtalar joint. So at the subtalar joint, the movements occurring are supination and pronation. So when you talk about supination, it's basically your leg going for plantar flexion, inversion and adduction, right? And when you talk about pronation, it is your leg going for dorsiflexion, abduction and eversion. So inversion is this way and eversion is this way. Now let us look at the subtalar inversion in non-weight bearing. So if you look at the calcaneum over here, and this is the talus, right? So during supination, the calcaneus will go for inversion, that is, it will go inward. This is the medial side over here. So the calcaneum will go for inversion, and then it will go for plantar flexion and also adduction, right? So all these movements are occurring at the calcaneum, that is in open kinematic chain or non-weight bearing. The calcaneum will go for inversion, plantar flexion and adduction, whereas during pronation of the foot, the calcaneum will go for eversion, abduction and dorsiflexion, right? Same as the foot. Now let us see what will happen during supination and pronation of the foot when the foot is in weight bearing. So in weight bearing, when the calcaneus is in contact with the ground, calcaneum will try to go for inversion, right? Inversion. But because it is in contact with the ground and whole body is exerting force on it, it cannot also go for abduction or adduction, that is rotation of the talus over here. It cannot go because again the weight is put on the talus. However, it can tilt inward and outward, that is inversion and eversion, inward and outward tilting of the calcaneum can occur in weight bearing position. So during supination of the foot, the calcaneum will go for inversion, and the other two movements, that was the adduction and plantar flexion, cannot be carried out. Hence talus, the friend of calcaneum, will help it to do that movement. That is, talus will go for dorsiflexion and abduction. Now over here you might get confused that why is it going for dorsiflexion and abduction and why not the same movement, that is the plantar flexion and adduction. That is because the movement is occurring at the subtalar joint, and when it goes for dorsiflexion and abduction, the relative movement is occurring at the subtalar joint, that is plantar flexion and adduction. So calcaneum is doing its part, that is inversion, and the other two parts which it cannot do, talus completes it by compensating or by taking up its job, that is it goes for the opposite action, that is abduction and dorsiflexion during the supination. Now let us guess what happens in pronation of the foot. During pronation, same thing will occur but exactly opposite. So during pronation in non-weight bearing, calcaneum will go for eversion, abduction and dorsiflexion, right? Over here the two movements were blocked, so it can only go for eversion. So the other two movements will be taken up by the talus, that is plantar flexion and adduction, right? Simple. Now let us look at this on the paper so we'll get a better idea of it. So during supination, I had said that there is inversion of the calcaneum, there is adduction of the calcaneum and also plantar flexion, right? But during weight bearing, what will happen? The calcaneum can only do inversion and the other two movements will be taken up by the talus, right? But these movements will be opposite, so it will be abduction of the talus and dorsiflexion of the talus, right? Whereas in pronation, what will happen? So during pronation, the leg goes for eversion, abduction and dorsiflexion, which will be taken up by calcaneum in the non-weight bearing condition. Whereas in weight bearing, the calcaneum will only take up the eversion part, whereas the other two movements, that is abduction and dorsiflexion, will be flipped by the talus, which will cause relative pronation at the subtalar joint. Okay, now let's summarize the topic. We talked about the axis, which is an oblique axis and causes a triplanar movement, that is supination and pronation of the subtalar joint. In non-weight bearing, the calcaneum carries out all the movements, whereas in weight bearing, the two movements, that is adduction and plantar flexion for supination, is taken and flipped by the talus, that is abduction and dorsiflexion. Whereas in pronation, again the calcaneum can only do eversion, whereas the abduction and dorsiflexion part of it is again taken up by the talus and flipped, that is it is doing the adduction and plantar flexion. I hope that this topic was very simple for you guys. There is lot of application part to this topic which I will discuss in my next video, so stay tuned for that and it's going to be very interesting, I promise you that. So see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. If you like my content, please share it with your friends. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and also the bell icon so that you get notified every time I post a new video. Also let me know in the comment section what other videos you would like me to cover. Thank you for watching.